So as you can see from the thumbnail there, playing drums can really tear up my shoes sometimes. These especially, and the left shoe more than the right. Now I noticed that my shoes were really getting torn up, and it was certain shoes more so than others. A tougher like running shoe doesn't get torn up, but something that's, you know, like a leather, thinner rubber, thinner soled shoe will get torn up. And I started to notice that, and I realized, okay, they're getting torn up while I'm playing drums. So what's causing this? And so I examined my foot technique, and I realized, okay, I slide my feet all the way up the pedals. It's the way I play. I like to do sort of a toe kind of leg bounce thing on the hi-hat, but I've got my toes all the way up the footboard. And I play heel down on the kick drum most of the time, depending on what I'm playing. And I like to have my big toe all the way up there at the end of the foot plate so I can really get the most control, the most precision, and be able to play exactly what I want to play. It works for my leg, for my foot. That's one of those techniques that works perfectly for me. Now, I threw the question out on social media probably a month or so ago, just asking, hey, has this happened to any of y'all's shoes? Has anybody else had the same problem where your shoes are wearing down playing drums? And most people didn't seem to have this issue, and I was surprised by how many drummers actually play barefoot. I thought, well, that's interesting. I guess if you play barefoot, you could still slide your foot all the way up there if you wanted to. But I also got a lot of critique of my technique, and a lot of people saying things like, bro, you know what a toe plate is? Get a toe plate and you won't have the problem anymore. My whole point was I don't want a toe plate because a toe plate keeps you from being able to slide all the way up the footboard. For me, again, this is subjective. This is my feet, my legs, the way that playing drums works for me. I've got to be able to slide my feet all the way up. Now, part of that is I'm 6'3", and my feet are, they're not huge, but my feet are pretty big. They do take up the whole pedal. And so even if I've got my heel down on the little heel plate, my toes are still pretty far up there. And so that's just the way I play. And if I have a toe plate on there, that really drives me crazy because I end up sliding up on top of it because I want to go further. Before you comment telling me to get a toe plate, just know that I've tried that. I don't like it. It doesn't work. So I had to look at other solutions. I noticed that some hi-hat stands out there actually have a small like piece of plastic on the chain, sort of like a chain guard. I think Tama has that on some of their stands, and Yamaha also has this little felt wrap on some of their chains. But that's not something that comes standard on a lot of hi-hat stands. And again, maybe this isn't a standard problem. Maybe I'm like 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000. No other drummers have this issue. But I thought that my solution to this might be beneficial to other drummers because number one, chances are the tip of your shoe will touch the chain at some point, and you don't want to get oil on your shoe. If you play barefoot, there's a good chance your foot's going to slide up there, or if you play in your socks or something and you don't want to dig your toe into the chain or get oil on your toes or on your socks or whatever. So even if you don't play in as extreme of a way as I do where your feet are always all the way up the footboard, maybe you could still use this. So here's my solution. This duct tape sleeve is actually very durable. It seems to work really well. Duct tape is tough anyways by the nature of duct tape, and it's also very smooth, and so it's a much smoother surface for your shoe or your foot or whatever to interact with, and so it doesn't wear down the rubber, and you definitely no longer have the issue of the chain digging into the tips of your shoes. Now you could also insulate that sleeve with a little bit of cloth or like put a paper towel on the inside or something to even pad it a little bit. And if you go that far, then say you're a barefoot player, you could slide your big toe all the way into it and it's not gonna kill you. It's not gonna hurt, it's not gonna dig into your foot. I've got these sleeves of some sort, whether it's a duct tape sleeve or I've added other little things to it on a lot of my pedals and hi-hat stands, and this has worked great for me. I still notice with my shoes that it can gradually wear just because, I mean, walking will wear your shoes, and in the same way that pressure on the sole of your shoes will wear it down, if the tip is touching anything, it's gonna wear it down eventually. So this is not a 100% solution, but it does help tremendously. The chain is no longer eating into specific little spots on the tip of the shoe. For me, this is a huge money saver. It's a DIY solution that's a massive money saver because it means my shoes last way longer. So if you are a drummer out there who has had the same problem and this solution helped you, please let me know that, because I would find it very encouraging to hear that there's somebody else out there who's had this exact problem, because I know there aren't many of you. There's so many barefoot players and so many people who just don't play the way I play. But I thought I'd throw this out there anyway and get some opinions, get some feedback, and see if anybody else can relate. So thank you so much for hanging in there and checking out this very much DIY way of protecting your shoes while playing drums. If this video helped you out and you aren't subscribed already, please subscribe, send me a message, leave a comment, give the video a thumbs up, share with somebody else who maybe does have this problem. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.